Okay, my friends, get ready. This is a human fingertip, and I can say that with certainty because it has been CAT scanned, DNA tested, 100% certainty. Now, this is what the fingertip looks like, and this is how long it is, 7 inches. So, 7 inches is a pretty good sized fingertip. This is the very end of the fingertip. Now, this is an anatomical structure of what the fingertip looks like, and these are where the tendons implant. You see this? I call them tendons. They call them Aponeurosis ligaments. Ligaments attach bone to bone, that's all it is. And what they did was attach this apical tuft to this bone here, which is this apical tuft right here. Same thing. And they have these little straps. You see the little straps coming out? Every one of those has a ball and a strap. And that strap comes down and pulls that finger. It makes it do this. That's what it is. There's an attachment there. That is never supposed to come out. They're supposed to be locked in here in all of these balls. That's where these are. Now, that one there is still there. But they have them on both sides. They're all over the place. And that is this piece right here. I still have a ball on mine, but they're meant to be like this, and these straps pull them. Now there's two major ones on the side, and here's where they implant right here. You see that? That's this. It's right there. And it runs up to there, which is right here. You see how they're red? That's how muscles lock in. The rest of this, most of it's pretty structural. You know, you have the pads on the bottom and so forth. I have CAT scans of this as best they can. You can show the, well, even you can see the apical tuft on the top too, if you know how to look. You see that circle there? It's down inside, but it's still there. And that's where it's, this was off the same hand. I have the whole hand. So this one had just eroded completely down, and the whole knuckle and everything is eroded back to the bone ball, which is about here somewhere. I have all this stuff, and I have bones from it, and I have all kinds of things, and I have some big ones. That's a hair follicle. That's a hair follicle. That's where the muscle attaches, and that's the sebaceous gland. And that's the hair growing down, and that's the two blood vessels, and that's where the hair comes out the top. So this is not a big joke. This is something we need to look at for our real, honest, true history. And I'm doing it from a material scientific aspect. I'm not taking just, you know, hoping for the best here. I'm looking at it and I'm deciding what is it, what's real, what isn't real, and you know, does it have any matter? Is there any significance to it? And all of those things I've discovered, yes, it is real and it is very significant. Okay, my friends, if you're going to be a mud fossil tier, you're going to have to understand biology, because that's what mud fossils are. They're biology turned art. I always call this a tendon mat. Well, there's another word for it. It's called Aponeurosis, which it's a tendon mat. Now, this is a tendon mat too, which they have these little straps that go down with a ball, and that ball attaches into some other muscle or tendon or bone or whatnot. But it's on your gut and your back and all these tendon fibers, so that you have a little bit of flexibility back there, but some very tough strength. Let's see if I can show you. Well, I don't see I have a good shot of it here, but I will show you. Bones, normally the tendon just locks into the bone, and there's a million little balls in there. And then right about here, it's an abrupt transition, turns into muscle. And this just gives you a little tiny bounce. This gives you a lot of play. So that's the two differences. Now, and then as far as where they anchor, we've got ligaments and tendons. Tendons go from bone to bone primarily, and with a muscle in between. Ligaments go from bone to bone, no muscle in between. They're right locked up against each other, and they just sort of roll around like a muscle, a bone would have been on this thing. And they wouldn't go separated way off like this, like your arm and your shoulder. That's the difference. Now, they all have these balls inside, and they all have these little straps coming down to them. And they're enormous in these creatures. They're absolutely enormous. Look at this. This is what they look like coming down. You see this here? A big rope comes down. Tendons are ropes. The Aponeurosis is a flat thing. But these are ropes, and they come down until they get down to these little tiny fibers, which are these. And they're still in little bundles, you see them? They're in bundles, but they're fibers within bundles, and then fibers within that bundle, and fibers within that bundle, and you come down till you get to here, where they implant inside the bones or wherever they're going to. All right, now the Aponeurosis is a totally different situation. This is a flat plate, and I will show you, I'll give you the anatomical stuff on it, because it's anatomically, they understand it. Tendon versus Aponeurosis. They both do exactly the same thing. They're both made out of exactly the same materials, but they are in different configurations within the body. Now, what is a tendon? Definition: whitish connective tissue, tough cord-like. Aponeurosis, connective tissue, delicate and sheath-like. It's a flat sheet. Appearance: tendon rope. Aponeurosis, thin sheets. Texture: tough, really, really strappy, tough. The tendons, like your Achilles tendon, they're tough. The texture of these are kind of delicate. You can stretch them quite a ways out. Now the function allows the body to move and be flexible, allows the body to be strong and stable. This is your core. It holds your body together tight. Now the injuries are more common because the tendons can actually snap. Injuries are less common, but they're not understood because you can feel a little pop sometimes in your stomach area, and oh, so I got a pain there, but that is actually an injury, and that is exactly the injury I showed you right here. That right there. That should never have come out of there. Now, these are from gigantic creatures, the ones that they made the walls out of, and they just snapped these little straps right off here and used those flat plates to make the walls down in Peru and all the ancient structures that have these unexplained bumps on them. That's where the bumps are from. The rest is just a beautiful, nice, flat mat. Aponeurosis. All right, you just saw that with the bulb pulled out, the Aponeurosis. This also is an Aponeurosis. Look at the size of this. Arches National Park. There's another one here that came down, I believe, to this one. But there are balls all over. They're everywhere. They just don't know what to think of them. So they just say, oh, it just happened. Well, all the fleshy part eroded away. Now, here's the key. Everything is chemistry. This is all chemistry. Now, where was it in the body? Was it near a kidney? Was it near bile? Was it near acid? Was it near salts? Every one of those different pHs and molecules will invade in a different way different types of tissue. That's why sometimes the bones are missing, all you got left is the fleshy part. Sometimes the flesh is missing, all you got left is the bone. In this particular case of the worldwide flood, it happened in all different areas, it had all different outcomes. Let's just go with that. You'd never know unless you knew what was here, whether this was next to some acids or salts. One's going to do one thing, one's going to do something else. We need to do some testing. But calcium, I believe, gets attacked by acids like vinegar and so forth. I'm not even positive of that, to be honest. I don't do much of that. I just look at what I find here. Now, I have made mud fossils, and all you do is just basically put body parts in hot water for a long period of time with enough transition metals and blood and everything else in there so they can invade the tissues and become stable. And then once you take it out and dry it out and just let it sit there and dry, it becomes almost like rock. You know, it's going to be soft for a while, but not forever. The stuff I did is pretty hard now. And that was maybe 8-10 years ago.